Hello and welcome! This character profile video is for the class Primrose, and what you'll see is all of her skills, the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend, her skill combos, enhancements, player card, and a gameplay video. So, without further ado, I give you the class Primrose. Here we go. And welcome to the skills slide. If you are new to my character profile videos, allow me to introduce the interface. On the left hand side is all of her skills. On the far right hand side is all the specials that go with those skills. And then the column CD is the cooldown for the skill. And then next to that is charges, how many times you can use that skill. And then the column hits is how many times the skill will hit a creature or opponent. And then the column damage-PVE is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against a creature in the world. And damage-PVP is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against another player's character. And then of course you have the passive at the bottom. So a few things to mention, if you look at the specials on the right hand side, the word super armor is colored in red, and that's only because if you look at the bottom left corner, it doesn't apply in arena. So if you go into arena, your super armor will not activate or work, but everywhere else in the game it will. So just be aware of that. And if you look at the skill column, you'll see that there are things colored in blue like Absolute Zero and Infinistab. That's because those two skills connect to your passive at the bottom, and I will go over all that in the PvP slide. So take a moment to look at everything, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the top 8 PvE skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvE slide. So what I've done is I've taken all the skills and I've organized them according to the column of damage-PVE, with the highest percentage at the top all the way down to the lowest at the bottom. And the skill Absolute Zero is your highest damaging skill. Not only is it your highest, but man, they buffed it up pretty good. So when you're looking around here, you're looking at the fact that there is a section that's colored in green, and that is because we can only take 8 skills into the world at a time. So these are the top 8 that I recommend because of damage percentage. You are definitely free to use whatever you like, and I encourage you to get to know every single skill and what it does, so that you will put together what you like and what you want to do. So for now, take a moment to look at all this, and when you're ready, we're going to move on to the next slide, which is the top 8 PvP skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvP slide. We have a lot to cover on this slide, so let's go ahead and knock out the basics. What I've done is I've organized all the skills according to the column of damage-PVP, with the highest percentage at the top all the way down to the lowest at the bottom. And Absolute Zero remains your highest damaging skill. Now, a few things is everyone who does PvP always wants to know, what super armor can I use? What skill has super armor that I can use in arena and outside of arena, because you are coloring the ones that we can't use. So there's normally 3 skills to choose from, but she has 2, and you could unlock in the enhancements. That is later on the video on what enhancements are and all that, but you can unlock an enhancement that changes Petal Ward from having a forward guard to having a forward guard on the first hit, and it changes into super armor from that moment on. So there's your 3, but the answer is Cold Snap is your first one, and looking at the list, it was Frigid Burst. So those are the 2 skills that you have Personally, I'd use Cold Snap because it has a higher percentage damage, you know, just by 200 and some more. But if I unlock that enhancement for Petal Ward, I will more than likely use Petal Ward because it will give me my super armor. So that is the first thing out of the way. The next is talk about the passive. So I'm going to explain it, and then I have a video for you on what the passive looks like. So let's go ahead and read it. It is called Frost Flower, and I changed the description so it kind of makes sense for everyone. You use skills to activate the passive, but only use the skill Absolute Zero when you are ready to use your Frost Flower shards. So with your passive, you have two things that are going on. Frost Flower happens when you use your skill. It's just use a skill, your passive is active, you're immune to bleed effects when you use any skill, and you apply the additional effects when using Infinistab and Absolute Zero. So if you want Frost Flower and what it can do for you, use Infinistab, and you will get a decrease in PvP damage received by 10% for 15 seconds, and an increase in damage against monsters by 20% for 15 seconds if you use Infinistab, the skill. Now, Absolute Zero activates the one below, called Frost Flower Ephemeral Shard. So you're using regular skills and you're building up your shards, and it says it's a maximum of 3 that you can build up to. When you go to use your Absolute Zero skill, the damage you do is increased by 10% per shard for 10 seconds, and then it dissipates and goes away. Like it says, consume all shards upon using Absolute Zero. So use a regular skill and you use Absolute Zero, 10% more damage than you would do. Use 2 skills and now you're at 20%, and use Absolute Zero, 20% more damage on Absolute Zero than you normally would do. But the one we all want to do is 3 skills. Max it out. Use 3 normal skills, you get your 3 shards, and when you go to hit with Absolute Zero, that's 30% more. And I did the math. It's about, it gets you very close to 3,000% damage compared to the 2,257.2% you have. So let's go ahead. I'm going to queue up a video and show you how this works. So give me a sec and I'll have it brought up for you. Here we go. Alright, here we go. So what you're looking at in the bottom right corner are the skills I've chosen. So the first one is Absolute Zero, and then next to it is Infinistab. And these 4 below it are just regular skills that we'll use to build up our 3 shards. We're going to mess with those 2 guys in the back. And what you're looking for is the damage that she does, the number that appears above them. It's a little tough, but I'll do my best to show you. So this is what it looks like when your passive is active and you build up a shard. Very, very obvious. It's white, and that's a shard behind you at your back. So we're using regular skills, and now we have 2 shards. See, now it's 2. It kind of does look weird, but you'll get used to it. And there's 3. So now you're at your maximum, and it kind of looks like spears you can throw at them, like elemental spears. So now we want to show you, let's see, we got our 3 shards. I think I'm going to let it dissipate because I want you to see what normal damage is. Yeah, there we go. With Absolute Zero. So let's go pick on this guy over here, and you're looking at the top above him. Around 5,000 damage, I believe I saw. So let's try it again. Yeah, 5,401. Okay, so there's our base of 5,000 damage. I'm wondering if I can show you this number. I'm gonna try to build up shards now, but I'm thinking that the camera angle is just not right. So let's go ahead and build up our shards. These poor guys are nice and easy to kill. Yeah, I'm not sure if you saw the numbers above because of all the other stuff that's going on, but let's build up. There's our 3, and let's just kill that person real quick. Okay, let's see if we can get a number off of this guy. I don't know if you saw that. I didn't see it. I want to say it was like 9,000 compared to the 5. So we're going to just build up our shards down here and see if we can get a better camera angle for you guys. Well, you should see the gameplay video. When she lets loose, whew, man, fast. Very fast. Okay, let's see if we can go back over to those guys. We're trying to beat 5,000. Oh, there's an item that got in the way. What bad luck. Alright. If you can see that number behind that item, you're doing great. Alright, let's try this again. Stabby, stabby. And... whoa, 6,000 to 7,000 more damage. So, normally 5,000 we said. So it's an extra 2,000 damage when you use absolute 0 with 3 shards. So let's go ahead and return now to the PvP slide. Here we go. And welcome back to the PvP slide. So now that you have a very good idea on how that works for the passive, take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we will move on to the next slide, which is her skill combos. Here we go. And welcome to the skill combo slide. Before I tell you how this works, allow me to show you where you can find it. So if you're on the main, if you're in the game and you hit the pause menu and you look all the way over to the right where it says skills and you tap on that, and then you're now on the skill screen and you look at the middle of the screen and go down, you'll see an hourglass, a magnifying glass with a circle around it, and it will say skill combos to the right of that. You tap on that and now you're here, a window that comes up saying list of skill combos. What I've done is I've taken all of the skill combos because you have to scroll, and I put it on one screen for you. So you could print this out, but I highly recommend you use black and white because it's a little heavy on the ink. That's a lot of blue, so you know, fair warning. Or if you're playing on an emulator and you want to put it on another monitor, if you have 2 monitors, and practice on the other one, you can do that as well. So now that you know where to find it, here's how it works. On the left hand side in blue is the skill you would start with, and then it chains into the options of the skill you would do next in gray. So let's take Frigid Burst at the top. You do that skill, and then you chain it into using absolute 0. So it's a 2-hit combo right there. And Moonrise below it, if you did that skill, then you have an option to do Frost Halo, Midnight Requiem, or Absolute 0, your choice, but another 2-hit combo. Now I don't want to bum you out, but every character in this game has positives and negatives, and this sadly is a negative. She only has 2-hit combos. If you look, that's it. There is a 3-move combo, but it's not a 3-hit combo, and that is evasion. If you start by evading, then you have the option of Infinistab, Cold Snap, or Frigid Burst, and you would choose either Infinistab or Frigid Burst. Cold Snap is not one of them in blue, so if you choose evasion and say Infinistab, and then Infinistab to absolute 0, or Cold Snap that is a 3 move combo, but you're really hitting twice. So this is honestly a recommendation on where to start. You can do whatever you like with skills. You can hit them and with whatever skills you want to create your own combos. This is not the, well, that's it and that's all there is. No, when you get to know Primrose, you'll be breaking out moves and skills that people will be like, I haven't thought of that before. So take a moment to look at this, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the enhancement slide. Here we go. And welcome to the enhancement slide. We have a lot to cover on this slide so that you have a good understanding of it. So let's go ahead and start with the basics. If you're new to the layout of this slide, let me introduce it to you. On the left hand side is all of her skills. On the far right hand side is the branch damage connected to these skills. And then there's 4 columns in the center. The first one, second one, and fourth I use to show that there are things that do something for your Primrose, like to enhance her and make her stronger. The third column is reserved for things that happen to the creature or the player's opponent that you're fighting to them. So the third column is like the negative column of bad things that happens when you're fighting them. So let's go over a few other things. If you look at absolute 0 at the top and then look all the way over to the right where it says heal 205 HP per hit, the heal is colored differently because when you unlock this, the heal works everywhere but Path of Glory. So if you go into the feature of the game called Path of Glory, she will not heal herself, but once this is unlocked, then she'll heal herself whenever you use the skill Absolute 0. And you will be using it a lot since it is your bread and butter attack. It's the most devastating one you got. So, not bad. Healing after hurting somebody else. So there's that. You already know that SA or Super Armor is the same. In red, it means it doesn't work in Arena, so you know about that. And you already know about the blue on the left hand side. So let's get to the main question. What are enhancements and what do I do with this? I don't understand. So if you are looking at the skill slide and you tap on a skill, let's just say Absolute 0, and you look to the left of it, you'll see 3 bubbles or circles around the icon for it. Those are enhancements. If you tap on them, you will see that you need silver or something else to unlock it. Once it's unlocked, then your skill is enhanced and you get these features added onto it. So like I just said a second ago, whenever you use Absolute 0, you'll heal yourself. Or if you unlock target AP minus 20 for 10 seconds, that means that whenever you hit a creature or a player's opponent, their attack power will go down by 20 for 10 seconds, or the target attack speed. If you unlock that, then every time you use Absolute 0, then their attack speed will go down by 10% for 4 seconds. So you're basically buffing your skill Absolute 0 by unlocking these enhancements. So how do you do that? When you're fighting in the world of Elion or Hadum, you'll get these skill books, and you want to pay some silver and learn them so that you're raising the level for that skill. Meaning, if you say you went to Frost Halo and you want to do the bleed, so that every time you do Frost Halo, it puts a bleed effect on your creature or the person you're fighting against, but there's a red number there, like number 2, and you don't understand what that is. That is, you need to learn skill books to get Frost Halo up to level 2. Then you will have access to pay the silver, unlock the bleed effect, and then it's done. Every time you use Frost Halo, you'll add a bleed effect to the creature or player's opponent you're fighting. But I would guess, and this is just a guess on my part, if it says 2, chances are you'll probably get there with, say, 2, maybe 3 skill books, but they're random. There's no creature you can just fight to get the Frost Halo skill books. Just farm. Kill all the creatures, you'll get skill books, you learn it, and then you unlock these enhancements when you're ready. The goal is to unlock them all, and Primrose will be at her strongest because every skill that you're using has 4 things that are buffed on top of it. It's like building a cake. And then of course there's the big talk about the branch damage, which I don't really cover, but you know, if you have that buffed up, every time you use your skills, it's just gonna hurt. It's gonna be great, and you're gonna add so much more to your attacks than your standard attack that you get. And now this is in the world of Elion and Hadum. In Hadum, when you unlock it in treasure chests, you'll get skill books, and they'll be of higher quality. So you always want to reach into the storyline and progress as far as you can, unlock Hadum, and when you go farming, you'll get skill books, you learn them, and it'll just make unlocking these enhancements so much quicker. So this is how it works. Now take a moment to look at all this, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide called the player card. Here we go. And welcome to the player card. It is like a baseball card. It is all the slides you previously saw and some stuff that's new. So let me go ahead and show you how this works. At the very top is the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend. And then to the right of that is something new. It's called immobilization. Anytime that you knock down, knock up, bound, freeze, stun, anytime you immobilize the creature you're fighting or the player's opponent that you're fighting against, this is why I'm listing it here. And why is it important? I will show you at the very bottom of this player card. But the way it works is if you have an immobilization, it's listed in green. And then to the right of that is how many you have. And it looks like I was telling you how Primrose has positives and negatives. Well, this is a positive for her. She's got 3 skills that have 2 immobilizations, and you're lucky if you have 3, but 2 seems to be the top end. 1 is common. So Infinistab, Frigid Burst, and Cold Snap have 2 immobilizations, and that's wonderful. If you're still going, what the heck are you talking about? Look at the skill section below. You see where it says Infinistab? Now look over to the right. It says Super Armor, knockback on first hit, and knock up on last hit. And that's the 2 immobilizations right there, knockback and knock up. So below is the enhancements. We already covered that. And then below that is a legend for what is not applied in Path of Glory and what's not applied in Arena. And at the very bottom is the definition for forward guard and super armor if you were not aware. And after I tell you the definitions or read it to you, I will explain why the immobilization section is so important. So, forward guard. This means that incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. So imagine you're fighting your buddy, his player, his character, and imagine a shield that's invisible in front of you. Now he'll come at you straight, trying to damage you, but as I just read, incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced when your forward guard is active. So as long as he or she is attacking in front of you, or maybe off to the right or the left, but still in front of you, this will happen. And you can laugh. You're like, shit, nice try. But if they get behind you and attack you, all bets are off. They do normal damage to you. Your forward guard is not effective. So that's how forward guard works. Super armor. This means that incoming damage will be reduced, and the effects that immobilize you, like stun, knockdown, freeze, etc., will not happen for a duration of time. So this is why I was saying in the PvP slide that they always want to know what skill they could use for super armor. It's so they get immunity to being knocked down. Why does that even matter? If you're still wondering, if you and I were battling each other, then and I was able to get in an immobilization on you, say knock you down, then I'll get a couple extra hits on you. I'll hit you while you're down, maybe hit you 2 more times, and that really turns the tide of a battle in a guild battle or out in the world or even arena. It really matters when you're knocked down. So super armor is your immunity to that. So when you're looking at the immobilization section, I want to throw as many immobilizations at you as possible. So I'm going to be doing Infinistab, Frigid Burst, Cold Snap, and a few others. And then I'm going to recycle them again. So that's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 or 11 immobilizations I'm throwing at you all the time. I'm increasing my percentage of chance that your super armor will run out and I'll get my immobilization in. That's why this is important. So, now that you know how this works, allow me to say, take a moment to look at everything, and when you're ready, the music is going to change, and we're going to go into the gameplay video where we show you what Primrose can do. And boy, is she fast. Hold on one second, here we go. And welcome to the gameplay video. Before we get started, let us show you where we're at. We're over here in Balanos, and we are at Kron Castle entrance, and we're here because we love it here so much. I don't think we're ever gonna leave. Their CP is this much, and for once our CP is a little bit lower. I'm not worried in the least. The way this works is we'll use this auto path. She'll go in and fight for about 2, maybe 3 minutes, at which time we will go back to town and I will give my outro and say thank you. So without further ado, I give you the class Primrose. Here we go. And it's just about time for her to head back to town. There we go. So while the loading screen is coming up, allow me to say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like these videos, please subscribe, like, let people know. I'm always making more videos and I'm happy to do it for you. So what we're going to do now is just put her in a pose. There we go. A little background there. And we always have her do a wave. So let's do the wave. Oh, there we go. And why not? Let's have her clap, see what that's like. There we go. We're probably going to have her wave one last time. So thank you once again for watching this video, and you have a great day. Take care. Bye now.